Mr. Earl, now Mr. Russell, I would like to come to you now. Of course, this is the whole structure of the Iran regime, so to say. But considering the fact that now we have, that's a transition that's going on in Iran, and at the same time we have RGC who are now, they have launched an attack. One is already the base in Iraq. How do you assess the Gulf states to act right now? Because they are the ones who is going to be suffering all these attacks happening. How do you assess them to be reacting as of now?
Well, the Gulf states did their best to try to forestall all this. The Gulf states asked President Trump not to do this because we just had pictures on WION recently of the attack on the Dubai airport. So the Iranian attacks and some of which are non-military, of course, sort of throws the Gulf states right into the Americans' lap and says, you must, now you must try to defend us. And as part of this buildup, of course, a military buildup in the wider region, the United States has, of course, moved theater high-altitude air defense systems and other systems out into the Gulf to try to address the concerns of the Gulf states. But the reality is, of course, these missile defense systems are not perfect. Many of them are, of course, simply point defense systems, which means they're designed to protect specific areas, and they're not really for wide area defense. And they're also, by the way, they have shortcomings when dealing with, for example, low observable drones, which, as we know, based on what's been happening in the Russia-Ukraine war, the Iranians are pretty adept at producing these. So this, again, though, gets to this point, which is that, and when I talked about the capacity for the antagonists in this dispute to reload and to fire again and to keep on firing. And I think a regrettable feature of the way armaments are going in the world, for example, in the area of drones, for example, we see in the Ukraine war that the Ukrainians are able to produce these relatively low cost and very destructive munitions at relatively low cost, and they do so in large numbers. And I think, I can't claim to be the world's expert on this, but I suspect that the Iranians are pretty good at this kind of thing too, which suggests that again, their capacity for reloading, their capacity for keeping the war going with attacks on the Gulf states and upon American facilities in the Gulf could continue for much longer than we might think.
Right.
So it's not just necessarily a matter of thinking that, well, we have destroyed their ballistic missiles, and therefore that means they won't be able to shoot at us anymore.
Right.
I hope that's true, but I'm not sure that it is.
All right, Mr. Russell, I would really want you to stay with us so that we can discuss this even more going forward. We'll be stepping into a very short break, and we'll be back with discussing more with our guest, James A. Russell, national security expert from Ontario, California. We'll be right back.